Even as Iowa farmland sits covered in snow, it never stops being a great investment. That was the topic at the recent Iowa Land Expo in Des Moines, which attracted interest from people all across the country. We had a chance to catch up with Mollie Aronowitz of People's Company to talk about some of the trends to look for and what topics will be most important for landowners in the future.
In 2019, we're dominated by trade disruption and weather. And so I think that will continue for 2020. I think we'll also have a lot of conversations about sustainability and the landowner and farm operator's role, what conservation means on the ground, and just going back to that idea of consumer demand and their demand for us to address sustainability as we grow safe and healthy food. The weather patterns that we have had in the past year and how they've significantly affected our operation, I think we'll be talking more about how do we weatherproof our farms? How do we mitigate the risk that we've seen in the last couple of years? What have we learned? What can we do to improve for 2020 and beyond? As we continue to be in a bit of an unsettled economy, farmland continues to be a great investment. And there is a high demand for good, productive land. And so I think we'll continue to see that trend. And as farmers and landowners, we have a fantastic opportunity here to show best management practices for improving soil health and addressing water quality. As we think about land value and soil health and water quality, I think it's important to remember that there's two aspects of owning land, of that annual return, and then thinking long-term there of the appreciation of that land value. And so as we look at maximizing production on the best acres, we often, if we're addressing the concerns on those sensitive acres, we often just back into the environmental improvements on the farm by addressing profitability on the farm. As we start a new decade, it's a really interesting opportunity to see where we've been in the last 10 years and what significant changes we've seen in technology and the data. And I think that'll continue in 2020 of looking at how we use data on the farm for precision agriculture, every aspect of the equipment we're using. So that'll continue to be important. We also need to be actively involved in that conversation of what the environmental, social, and the economic piece of sustainability, defining that on our farms and what that means for the consumer.
Speaking of taking care of the land, when we come back, we'll meet a Northern Iowa farmer who is leading the way in conservation.